What's up, guys? Back with another render reboot tutorial. I'm going to show you how I created this rendering using Twinmotion. Let's get right into the video. All right, as you can see here, we have a very simple scene, nothing extraordinary, but it was rendered in Twinmotion, of course, and it was modeled in Revit 2024. And these assets that you see before you were used out of the Twinmotion library as well as Sketchfab. So if you're wondering how to get there, you can go to the library objects, go to home, bathroom, and you have three different categories: sanitaries, accessories, and you also have your storage. So I think that that was pretty good that Twinmotion has that pre-built in there for you, and that makes a world of difference. And let's see what else you got. So we also have our Sketchfab here. You can go to furniture and home. And if you're looking for anything specifically for this particular 3D scene, you can go into Sketchfab as well. So just kind of pointing out some of the options that you have to help enhance your 3D scene and possibly get very good renderings. All right. So don't forget to hit that like button for me, hit the notification bell. Let's see, what adjustments do we need to make to our scene to get the results that we're looking for? All right. So I already created my image here and my path tracer is already set. Let's go to render, and we have it on high, but it's at 256 and our max bounce is at 10. We are going to make some adjustments there. But before we do that, we want to make some more adjustments in our environment tab. So here I have it. We do have HDRI, we have Sky Dome, and right now we have a default HDRI, noon clear 01. So I want to change this, and I'm going to use a free HDRI. It's going to be a 12K, and I got that HDRI from Ambient CG, and it's free. So definitely go check them out. You can go to user library and you can go to local HDRIs and you can use your day environment here. And we're going to drag that onto our scene. All right. So now that we have that, we can start making some adjustments to the intensity and rotate our HDRI. So here, let's make our intensity 5. Okay. Now that we have that, we can rotate our HDRI. You can see it moving in the background there. So you can use your discretion however you want the sun to come in. I believe I use 245. So if you're wondering why on the outside this looks a little blurry, that was intentional. I actually used a frost glass here. Okay, so now that we have that, kind of looking through some more details just to see what else that we want to use. So whatever tweaks or adjustment we want to make in our environment tab. And I believe this is it for the environment tab. So let's go to camera and let's see what else we can do. All right, so here I have auto exposure checked, and that's fine. But I believe I want to make some adjustments to my exposure. So let's do 0.90 white balance. So for our white balance, we have 6,500 kelvins, which actually looks pretty good, but it's that warmer tone and there's nothing wrong with that. I usually go towards the cooler tones, but I believe that it depends on the scene and what type of mood you're trying to set. And for some reason, I always go towards the 4,700. It looked good to me. So we're going to use 4,700 for the white balance. Our local exposure, let's enable that. Let's make some adjustments to our highlights here. So let's do 0.75. And our shadows here, we can crank our shadows all the way up just so we can get some depth in our scene. All right, so now that we did that, let's go back to render real quick. Let me check something. Let's check denoiser. So as you can see, we have a lot of noise in our image. which you can keep it and make some adjustments to your sample per pixel to help balance it out. Here, I'm going to go ahead and check denoiser to take it away. So now that we have done that, we can actually go back to our camera. Guys, don't forget to smash that like button for me and hit the notification bell and also subscribe. Okay, so now that we have our settings going here, let's see what other adjustments we can make. So here we have our focal length at 18. I'm not going to mess with that because we're also, what we're going to use is our film back. So my film back is going to make that adjustment for me. So here for our vignetting, let's make that 45%. And just kind of show you what vignetting does, we can crank that all the way up to 100%. And you just kind of see what it does to the mood. It helps hone in into our subject, which is the tub essentially, because it's in the center. But for our vignetting, we're going to use 45%. We're going to click parallelism here. So now that we made those adjustments, I think it is coming along. It looks pretty good. We have a lot of natural sunlight coming in, which was intentional. That's why we have this opening here to help some sunlight come in to make this space look serene, have some serenity to it. At least that was the intention. So let's make some adjustments to FX. So in our FX, we're going to make some refinements. So we have our contrast here. We do 45%, saturation, 38%, clarity, 20%. And we have our sharpness, and I want to make that 20% as well. Okay. So, guys, when you're using contrast and saturation, you can go back and forth depending on scene itself, how the lighting is coming into the scene, and just pay attention to the shadows. Pay attention to your how much contrast, how much saturation you want to use. You don't want to use too much saturation, and you don't want to use too much contrast. So you can tweak these settings to help find a perfect balance. And I believe for this in particular 3D scene, the contrast and the saturation looks good to me. Guys, if you don't think so, leave a comment down below. All right, so now that we have that, let's go to LUT. And here, I'm actually going to use a filter. So we can go to standard, our lookup table here. And we do have different options here. And I don't see any adjustments. Let's see what's going on. So the reason why those adjustments are, you don't see any adjustments as I was clicking through the different filters is because my intensity was not on. So let's make an adjustment to our intensity. So right now, 51, let's just crank it all the way up. All right. So now that we have that, now you can start to see the different options we have available to us. And these filters actually look pretty good. Every time I am rendering, I cannot help but use filters. And not always, but sometimes, you know, it it captures that look that I'm looking for in my rendering. So we're going to stick to Beauty 3. Okay. So now that we have that, we're going to make some more adjustments here. Let's go back to camera. All right. So I believe we're going to stick to our focal length at 18. I believe I told you guys I was going to change it, but we're going to keep it at 18 here. And everything else looks good. So let's check our render tab. And here we have our quality set at high, but we can tweak that to 2048. Let's increase our max bounce. Let's get some more light into our scene. Let's do 20. And we'll leave these checked. Let's decrease our fireflies. All right. So let's go to image here and crank it up to 8K. and check mark our tile rendering. So guys, that completes my workflow that I use in this particular 3D scene. Check out renderreboot.com. Don't forget to hit that like button for me, hit the subscribe bell, and I hope you learned something today, and we'll be back with another one.